All right, more on our breaking news this morning. The marathon session of talks between the U.S. and Iran in Islamabad yesterday ended without a deal. In the end, Vice President J.D. Vance said nuclear development remained a sticking point. Joining me now to discuss is WABE and NPR politics reporter Raul Bali, special counsel for Georgia trial attorneys Cody Randall, and senior editor at Bossip, Jason Lee. Welcome to you all. And let's start here with what is next. The president told the New York Post on Friday that if there is no deal, this is what he said, we're loading up the ships with the best weapons ever made, even at a higher level than we used to do a complete decimation. And if we don't have a deal, we'll be using them, and we will be using them very effectively. That was Friday. Here's what he said on Saturday.
We win, no matter what. Their leaders are all dead. Khomeini is gone. For many years he ruled. He's gone. With all of that, let's see what happens. But from my standpoint, I don't care.
So we're using the weapons. I don't care. We'll see what happens. What does it mean at home not to get a deal?
I think my biggest question is when. What's this time frame? What does this look like? When you've got the ceasefire, how long does that hold before all of this happens and kind of all of it goes down? I think that's my biggest question is when does this happen? Do we start getting a deadline from the president that this is when it's going to happen? That's what I'm watching for.
Well, I saw deadlines, and they passed, and they went, and they came, and they went, and nothing came of them. There was supposed to be a ceasefire that lasted like 18 minutes, and then it kept going. At a certain point, we have to realize that we can't keep starting wars in the Middle East every 10 to 15 years and then running them for 10 years. If we keep going the way we're going and we don't get some kind of a deal, we're going to be doing Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're all going to start looking like Vietnam. We can't keep doing this for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
On the latest episode of Invincible, there was a fight between two characters. And Invincible had his hands wrapped around the neck of his enemy. And regardless of how bad the fighting got, regardless of how much harm he took, how much damage he took, he kept his hands around the enemy's neck. And that appears to be what's going to happen in this situation. Iran has no reason to let go. I don't see what the off-ramp is for Trump or the administration to get a ceasefire or get a deal done.
Yeah. The top story, obviously, as this war has continued, has been what is happening in Iran. How does this war end? But the First Lady has introduced something that Congress will be certainly asked about when they return this week. And here it is.
I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony.
So when she said that this week, the question was, why is this coming out now? Why is she denying the connection to Jeffrey Epstein? No one has said that she's done anything wrong or illegal. Do you think Congress takes up that call? The Republicans hear the First Lady and have to do something?
I think they do. I think they're going to do something. And again, I still think we're asking the question, why? Is there another story coming out, another shoe that's going to drop on this? I think you would see. I have not talked to any politicians yet about what their thinking on this is, but I think you'd see something.
Do you think it changes the equation legally at all? Because we heard from Todd Blanche that Epstein was the story of 2025. It should not be the story of 2026.
It's going to be the story of 2026 and 2027 and 2028, and it's going to be the story until we're holding these people accountable. As far as why she made her statement, we all know it's a pre-buttal. She's trying to get in front of something. Nobody just comes out and makes a statement like that and changes their positions. You have her husband, the president, saying, let's stop talking about it, and then she makes a unprovoked announcement about let's keep talking about it. I think something does come of it. I think that when they passed the Transparency Act and you had like a vote between both houses, and I think only 2 people objected to the entire vote, and that was in Congress, and then they forced the release of the files. I think everyone's on the same page here. We don't care who's in there or what's in there, who it's good and who's it's bad for. We have to get the information out there and find out what's going on. And as far as her statement was interesting, because at the end she was like, also, he didn't introduce me to my husband. I met him naturally at a party. And It's giving Macbeth. I believe the lady doth protest too much.
Yeah, let me stay with you for your story of the week. It's Sean Combs, his legal team, trying to get him released from prison. Tell us about it.
So that's interesting. So his team is filing with an appeal, which is a normal legal process. You can appeal any judgment against you, any kind of a conviction. And they're saying that what he did and how he was punished for it, he was given a sentence that wasn't consistent with what he was convicted of. And they imposed sentencing guidelines under the Mann Act, right? And the problem is that is with regards to transporting people across state lines for the purposes of like prostitution. And his attorneys have like a novel argument now, which is saying it wasn't prostitution, it was pornography. Yes, they had like some illicit services, but these people were brought over. They performed sexual acts. It was filmed. They were all paid for their work, and it wasn't for distribution. It was for Mr. Combs, his girlfriends, and his friends to watch and enjoy. In fact, he even lost money on it. It wasn't a profitable endeavor, so you can't say that it was prostitution to that extent. Like, you got to remember, pornography, whatever your opinion of it is a constitutionally protected activity. It's speech. You have a right to view and produce it.
You think it's a credible argument?
I think it's a novel argument, and I think there's something to be said for it, because the way that they came down with his sentencing, when they came up with the timeline, it seems like he got a sentence that was harsher than most other people that have been convicted of similar actions, and I think they were trying to make a statement or an example out of him.
John, go ahead.
Well, legally, you have a point. Legally, there's the legal issue, and then there's the issue of Sean Combs and everything that we know about Sean Combs, right? When we first talked about this story, we talked about his arrogance and how he kind of thought he was going to get away with this. As far as I'm concerned, he should be happy that he just got this amount of time and then that's it. Because to try to get this, try to get out of jail now kind of seems like you don't get it, do you? Like, we've seen all the things you've done. You have this long history, and you sitting down for this amount of time is the very least of the punishment that you'll probably get for all the things that we've seen you commit over the years.
Yeah, but you're talking about morality, not legality.
Correct.
We live in a country where you are innocent until proven guilty, and you're only guilty if a jury of your peers convicts you of a crime. And once you're convicted, then you're sentenced and you serve that time. The sentence that he got isn't consistent with his type of conviction, and the other charges he wasn't convicted on. So we can call him morally reprehensible, we can disagree with everything that he did and say that it's horrible, but the jury didn't convict him of that. And if his sentence isn't accurate and they're imposing stricter guidelines based upon things that he was acquitted from, it's improper. Like, yes, did he do other things? Sure. Convicted? No. What he was convicted of, I mean, essentially was pornography.
Let's press pause here. Everybody stay with us, because we got more to talk about when we come back. After years of struggling, movie theaters making a comeback. We'll tell you what's driving that trend. And if you're heading out, remember, you can stream our show from anywhere in the U.S. on the CNN app. You can also go to CNN.com/watch.
When you look at your